You are the witch hunter, and this is your whole life. They told you witches are real, not stories, not superstition, real. And you believed them, because you had to, because the first time you saw it, you understood. A village, silent, too silent, no wind, no animals, no voices, just something wrong. You remember the bodies, not broken, not torn apart, still, cold, but the eyes open, watching nothing. And in the middle of it, she stood, not afraid, not hiding, waiting. That was the first time you felt it, the cold, not around you, inside you, like something pressing from the inside out. They told you that's how you know, and you never questioned it, because when you followed that feeling, you always found them, always. A woman who doesn't react, a man who speaks too slowly, a child who looks at you like they already know you. You see the patterns, you feel the shift, and you act. You don't hesitate, you don't doubt, because doubt is how they survive. You've seen what happens when no one acts. You've seen villages disappear, not burned, not destroyed, just gone. So you arrive before it spreads, before it grows, before it becomes something worse. People open their doors, not because they trust you, because they fear what happens if they don't. You walk through their homes, slow, silent. You watch them. You don't need words. You feel it. And when you feel it, you stop. You turn, and you know. It's always the same moment, that quiet certainty, that cold inside your chest. You point, and everything begins. They beg, they cry, they deny, but it doesn't matter. It never matters, because you've seen the truth. You've seen what they become. You've seen what they do. So you bind them, rope, wood, fire, simple, clean, final. The crowd gathers, not to watch justice, to watch fear burn, to feel safe again. You light the torch. Your hand never shakes, not anymore. You've done this too many times. You've learned what hesitation costs. So you step forward, and you end it. The fire rises, and with it the cold disappears, every time, without fail. The air becomes lighter, the silence breaks, the world returns, and that's how you know you were right, every time. You are not guessing, you are not choosing, you are correcting something broken. That's what you tell yourself, that's what they tell you, and it has always been enough. Until now. Because something has started to change, small, barely noticeable. At first, you ignore it, you always do, but it keeps coming back. The cold lingers longer, the faces stay in your mind longer than they should, and sometimes, just for a moment, you hesitate. Not in your actions, in your thoughts. A question, quick, sharp. What if? You silence it immediately. You have to, because if you let it grow, everything breaks. Everything you've done, everything you believe, everything you are. So you keep going, from village to village, from fire to fire, from face to face, and you tell yourself it's all real. It has to be, Because if it isn't, then what you've been doing is something else entirely. Something changes. You feel it before you understand it. Not stronger, not weaker, different. You arrive at a new village. At first it feels normal. Fear in their eyes, whispers behind doors, silence in the streets. But something is off. The air is warmer, too still. The cold you rely on isn't there. You pause, just for a moment. That never happens. You've always known, always felt it. But now, nothing. You tell yourself it's nothing. Fatigue, time. You've been doing this too long. So you continue. The people are waiting. They always are. But this time, they don't look afraid of you. They look uncertain, like they are waiting to see what you will do. You ask the question, who is it? There is hesitation, a glance between them. Then they point at her. She stands at the edge of the crowd, young, still, too calm. No chains, no guards, just standing, looking at you. You step closer, waiting for it. The cold, the signal, nothing. Your chest tightens. This has never happened, not once. You study her breathing, her eyes, her hands. Everything is normal, too normal. You speak, step forward. She does, without resistance, without fear. And that bothers you more than anything, because witches always resist, always. You circle her, slow, careful, looking for something, anything, a sign. There has to be something. There is always something. But there isn't. Just a person. Just a girl. You feel the crowd watching, waiting. You realize something. They need you to decide, even if you're not sure, especially if you're not sure, because if you hesitate, everything breaks. You swallow and point. This one. The words feel heavier than usual, but once they are spoken, it begins. They grab her, rope, wood, fire, the same process, the same ritual. But something is wrong. She doesn't fight, doesn't scream, doesn't beg. She just watches you, and for a moment, you feel exposed, like she sees something you don't. You step closer. Confess, you say. She tilts her head slightly. I don't know what you want me to confess. Your jaw tightens. You've heard denial before, countless times. But this feels different. There is no fear behind it, no strategy, just confusion. You look into her eyes, searching, demanding something to appear, anything. But there is nothing. And that is the problem. Because now, you have to choose. If you stop, you admit you were wrong. If you continue, you might be killing someone innocent. The thought hits you, hard, sudden, unwelcome. You push it away. You have to, because you've seen what happens when witches live. You've seen death, madness, destruction. You cannot risk that. You cannot be weak. You step back. You nod. The torch is raised. Flame flickers. The crowd leans in. Everything slows. You wait for the cold, for something to change, for her to reveal herself. But nothing happens. The fire catches. It spreads, climbing, hungry. She closes her eyes, and still nothing. No voice, no change, no sign. Just pain. Real, human pain. Your breath stops. Your hands tremble. This is wrong. You step forward. Stop! But the fire is already too strong, too fast. The crowd doesn't move. No one wants to stop it, because stopping means doubt. And doubt is worse than death. You watch, frozen, as it happens, as it finishes, as she disappears into ash. Silence, heavy, unmoving. No cold leaves your chest, no relief comes, nothing changes. And that's when you understand. You made a mistake, a real one. Not a doubt, not a possibility, a fact. She was innocent. The word echoes, innocent. You look at your hands. They feel different, heavier, like something is stuck to them, something you can't wash away. You turn to the crowd. No one meets your eyes. They look down or away because they know, and if they admit it, everything breaks for them too. You step back, slowly, like the ground might collapse beneath you. Your mind races, replaying everything, every face, every fire, every certainty you've ever had. And for the first time, you are not sure. Not about her, about any of them. Your breath becomes shallow. What if you've been wrong before? What if this wasn't the first time? What if it wasn't where? What if it was common? The thought spreads like fire, and you can't stop it, because now you've seen it, and you can't unsee it. You are the witch hunter, and for the first time in your life, you don't know what that means anymore. You feel it immediately. Not the cold, the absence of it. For the first time in your life, you don't know what you're looking for. The world hasn't changed. The villages are the same. The people are the same. The fear is the same. But you are not. You walk into another village. They see you, and everything stops. Whispers spread, doors close, eyes follow, just like always. But now you see something else. Doubt. Not in them, in yourself. You ask the question, who is it? They answer quickly, too quickly. A man this time, older, weak. He can barely stand. They push him forward. He falls to his knees, begging, I'm not one of them. You've heard it before, hundreds of times, but now it sounds different, because now it might be true. You step closer. You wait. For the cold, for the sign, for something, anything. Nothing comes. Your chest tightens. You look at him, really look. His hands shake, his breath is uneven, his eyes terrified, human. You turn to the crowd. They're watching you, waiting. They need this. They need you to be certain, because if you're not, everything they believe in breaks. You feel it, the pressure, not from them, from the role, from the thing you've been your whole life. You raise your hand and stop. You can't, not like before, not blindly. You lower your hand. The crowd murmurs, confusion, fear. Why are you waiting? You don't answer, because you don't know. You look at the man again, and for the first time, you ask a different question. Not, what is he? But, what if he isn't? The thought spreads, fast, too fast. You step back, your breathing changes, everything feels unstable. You realize something. You've lost the one thing that made this possible. Certainty. Without it, you are nothing. Just a man with fire in his hands and no idea what to do with it. The crowd grows louder. They don't understand. They can't understand because they never had to decide. You always decided for them. You always carried it. Until now. Do it, someone says. Then another. Then more. The voices grow, demanding, needing, because fear doesn't disappear. It needs direction, and if you don't give it one, it will find another. You see it happening. They start looking at each other, suspicion spreading, faster than fire, and suddenly you understand something worse. If you stop, this doesn't end, it spreads. You were never stopping it. You were containing it, giving it shape, giving it targets. Without you, there are no rules. Anyone can be a witch. Everyone can be accused. The thought hits you hard. You look at the man again. If you burn him, he might be innocent. If you don't, someone else will burn, and they might be innocent too. There is no right choice, only consequences. You close your eyes, just for a second, and in that second, you see them, all of them, faces, hundreds, maybe more, some screaming, some silent, some looking at you the way she did, and you don't know anymore which ones were real, which ones weren't. Your hand trembles, the torch flickers, the world waits. You open your eyes and you understand the truth. It was never about witches, not really. It was about fear, and fear doesn't need truth. It just needs a reason. You look at the man, then at the crowd, then at the fire, and slowly you lower the torch. I won't do it. The words feel impossible, heavy, final. Silence. Then chaos, shouting, anger. The crowd turns, not on him, on you, because now you are the problem. You broke the system, and systems don't forgive that. Hands grab you, pull you back, force you down. You don't resist, because you understand perfectly. This was always going to happen. Without a witch,
They need another answer. And now, that answer is you. You are the witch hunter, and this is your whole life, until it isn't. They take the torch from your hand, the same torch, the same fire, but now it's not yours. You look up, at the crowd, at their faces, and you see it, the same thing you always saw, certainty, the same certainty you had before you knew, before you doubted, before you understood, and now you are on the other side of it, and there is nothing you can say, nothing you can prove, because truth doesn't matter here. It never did. The fire rises, and for a moment you wait for the cold, for something to happen, for something to prove them wrong, but nothing comes, only heat, only pain, only reality. And in that moment, you finally know you were never fighting evil. You were part of it. And now, it continues without you.